Hey everyone, I just wanted to show off my dad's room today because I think it is a really cool. This is mainly consisting of boys' toys and all that kind of stuff. First off is this Supergirl t-shirt and the Star Wars poster that I think I bought him. He's also a huge fan of the Orioles and he has his Safari Joe hat. And then this Happy Days board game right there. My dad is actually a big fan of wrestling, which Ric Flair is his favorite. And then I bought them these when I believe I bought these at Toys R Us um 3 or 4 years ago. They were part of the Barbie collector series. Dad's always been a big fan of Adam West's Batman. And he's also a huge fan of G.I. Joes. This is the 2003 reboot line. These are like the collector's edition G.I. Joes that are not supposed to be played with, technically. Up here we have the Recess Gang. Me and my dad have been actively trying to find the whole Happy Meal set since about 2001 or 2002. We are still missing Gus, Gretchen, and Vince. I believe that's the whole ones that we're missing. The most recent I found was like 4 years ago, and it was Spinelli. And then Doug, and then Camp Laszlo, and Wilt, and Eduardo, and the Flintstones. My dad is a big fan of the Flintstones. Now, with the superheroes, this is his main love. He loves the Hall of Justice. He loves DC. He loves Marvel as well, but mainly it's DC. This is the 1980s Hall of Justice. When we were little, when me and my brother were little, we used to play with this all the time, and now it just kind of sits up on a shelf. I remember when I was little, I really wanted to play with Wonder Woman, but Dad was always like, "No, you have to play with the boys." Um, I learned later that Wonder Woman is very sought after and expensive, and this Batman is obviously not the right Batman, but he wanted to have a Batman up here because he also has the car for the set, the Batman car, and Batman and Robin are in that. He also has this mail order Clark Kent. You can kind of see him right there in the mail order Superman car. I'm not actually sure if it's a car or a jet, but I remember when we were little, I played with these toys a lot. And then I bought him the Superpowers Lex Luthor a couple years back at Walgreens. Because Superpowers is actually one of his favorite lines of the toys. And then this he's actually had since he was about, I think, 8 years old. He told me. Here's the other Superpowers lines that I got from Walgreens. This is I think 2003 or 2004 Batgirl. This is one of his first comics he ever got of Batman. And of course, the box to this is in the back. Then he has the clock. He has a Batman Dr. Pepper can. Batman Unlimited action figure. And I think these are from the movies. And up here, we just have Disney stuff because my dad's actually a big fan of Disney. And then he has the G.I. Joe helicopter up here that he's had since he was little with 2003 G.I. Joe. And then these are Western characters. I don't really know much about them. Of course, there's Popeye, there's Ric Flair, Farrah Fawcett, then John Wayne, and then I don't know her name. And then he has these football things, and then Tomb Raider, more football, Xena the Warrior Princess, and then these two jerseys right here are from when me and my brother were babies, and another Tomb Raider. And then he also collects cereal boxes and stuff that he likes, like that tissue box with Timmy Turner on it. Then the Justice League. He was a big fan of the Justice League. Here's his little Wonder Woman little setup. And then here's this little X-Files setup with Scooby-Doo and I can't recall his name. And then Plastic Man and Shazam. He was a big fan of the X-Files when it came out. We haven't watched it in a couple years though. And then here's just some stuff, a High School Musical lunchbox, I don't know. And then a Bozo the Clown little flippy thing that he's had since he was little. Then Captain Uhura, from the Mego line. He was a big fan of Star Trek. He didn't actually get into Star Wars until recently because he thought Star Wars was a ripoff of Star Trek. Which it kind of is, but I digress. And then right here, this is my baby balloon from when I was born. And then this is my brother's. Sorry for the dust. My dad hasn't dusted for a long time. This is from the Banana Splits. He won that at King's Dominion. And then just some miscellaneous toys. My dad's a big fan of SpongeBob. And he actually has this fork from when he was little. And it's all like gross and stuff now. But I actually found this mint in package for about 50 cents at a thrift store. Then just some stuff down here. This is also his room where, he keeps his snacks and everything. So I bought him this Monster High. Because he actually really liked the concept of Monster High. And I was really into them at the time. And I actually missed buying these dolls. But I bought him the superhero Spectra. Maybe I'll talk about Monster High in another video. And this is his little Scooby-Doo setup. Scooby-Doo is one of his favorites. And then here's these Mario figures because he used to be really into Mario. This is when the game came out. And then just a couple of little things. This Evel Knievel. This is like his second or third one because they kept on breaking. I think he bought this at a toy show. And then Duke Kaboom from Toy Story from the Happy Meals. And then a Batman van from when he was little. And then these are all the repurposed, the repo, Megos. Before Mego actually came back out again, they called them Retro Action. And then this is actually, a Spider-Man from Mego that he bought from a toy show when I was little. This is a Spanish version. Les Extraordinary Superheroes. I probably butchered that. And then all this is just records. And then he was really a big fan of Batman Brave and the Bold. And then this is his Captain America shelf. He had Captain America when he was little, but I bought him for Christmas a while back, and it was really special that I could find him because Mego Captain America was one of his favorites, and I was happy to pay, I think it was like $75 to make sure he got him back. Now, he doesn't have his shield or his shoes, but Dad says he has them in the attic somewhere. And then this is his Justice League shelf. Here's the Justice League cars. Like I said, most of this is really dusty because he hasn't dusted in a while, but I really wanted to show you guys. Then here's Hawkgirl. And then this is part of the No, this isn't part of the Superpowers line. I can't remember what line this is part of, but there's more Justice League toys right here. And I remember this turns into like this kind of gun thing. It does whir, whir, and it's really fun. to play with. And then this is his Dukes of Hazzard collection. And then more superheroes, the superpowers. And then his little action figure of Supergirl. And then a girl actually gave this to my dad for Christmas one year. It was a daughter of a guy that he worked with. And then this is his Star Wars stuff, which he only got into Star Wars quite recently, but... And then, just pictures of, family that I'm gonna be skipping over, but... This is, the mom from the Herculoids. I actually drew that for him, because that was his first crush when he was little, and he never had a picture or action figure of her, so I drew him that. And then just some posters. My dad actually there's another He-Man poster. I don't know how well it shows up, but I think that's of Skeletor. My dad didn't get into He-Man in the 80s. He got into He-Man during the comic book series that DC put it on in, I think, 2013, 2014. And this is just my brother's He-Man castle. And most of these are the 2003 action figure line with some of the 80s mixed in. Now, most of them my dad hasn't bought. Like, I remember he found this Swamp Man, I don't know what his name is, but he found him, at the dump. So, you can literally find toys anywhere. But this is just, like, I know he bought Orko, and I think he bought this guy. And this two-headed guy. Or maybe I found him. I know I found her at a thrift store. And I found Tila at a thrift store. And then just some Jurassic Park, Jurassic World stuff. And then this He-Man. I gave my dad this Superman, I think 2013, I believe. I know that when this happened in 2006, my granny had just died, and it was a really hard time, and he always wanted that action figure, but just with that process and stuff, he didn't have time to focus on any of that. And eventually we found him at the comic book store, and I bought him that for Christmas, and he was so excited. Here's some dolls that never really took off. I think they were a Walgreens exclusive. All of them say Series 1, but they never came out with a Series 2. I think they're really cute, but he has all four in the set. And then just some baseball stuff, because he's a big fan of baseball. And then Ric Flair. No. Hulk Hogan, my bad. And then some of the 2003 collector G.I. Joes from the G.I. Joe Collectors Club. And then this is his Aquaman setup. I've bought quite a few of these. Like, I've bought those. And then, of course, he has Ariel and Dory, because they go with the sea theme. And my dad's a really big fan of Creature of the Black Lagoon, and I bought him that. It all fits up with the sea theme, though, so. But, and then these are just his Aquaman comics. He's trying to get all of them, like the very first ones, he has like those big, thick collector books. Cause there's no way he's gonna pay over $1,000 for a comic book. And this is the good shelf. These are Mego Batman and Mego Robin. Mego Robin used to be at the back of the shelf, and I know you can see through it now, but once the flash is off, you can't see in this cabinet so well, especially in the back. And when Robin was in the back when I was little, scared the shit out of me. All I saw was peeking eyes. This is the Superman car I was talking about. This is the Superpowers Robin and Superpowers Batman. And then this is Zorro. And then this is from the awful Batman cereal from Roston. It's just stickers on there. It's kind of funny. And then this is his G.I. Joe stuff. This one back here, even though in the green suit, my dad has had since he was 5 or 6. I stuck Barbie back there a couple years ago because I was like, G.I. Joe needs a girlfriend. And like Dad laughed and never took her out. He found this quite recently, a couple years ago. He was so excited about it. Same with the space thing with the 2003 G.I. Joe in it. And this is the original spacesuit. We put a little hook there, and I gave him one of my Barbie hangers to hang up that outfit. And then here's his Happy Days stuff. He has this with the opposable thumb, Fonzie, a Marilyn Monroe cup. I don't know what that vampire chick's from, but I know she's from some movie. Then WWF. And then another, his original Evel Knievel. And then more Marilyn Monroe stuff. And then I can't show you what's under here, but it's a titty cup. And these are caveman G.I. Joes. I remember when we were little, we used to have parties at our house for birthdays and stuff. And I remember my friend Connor's dad gave him those because he knew he was a big fan of G.I. Joe. Popeye spinach is back there. Snoopy is in the titty. Superman peanut butter. Creamy. And then the Lone Ranger. And then you can't see it, but because he's too dark, he's right there. That's a Planet of the Apes Mego figurine, I believe. And then this is all his painted figures, minus the Batman yo-yo. He painted all these from when he was like 14 to probably 18, I think he said. This Hunchback of Notre Dame, Batman, a little cowboy, because my dad's a big fan of the cowboys. Tarzan, Star Trek, the Wolfman, Dracula, Superman, the Mummy, a cardboard cutout of the Lone Ranger, and then Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. His arm has fallen off long ago, but I always thought it was super funny. I thought he got poisoned and his arm had fallen off, and this is going to seem kind of weird, but this is his bathroom Guardian of the Galaxy posters, and this is his Betty and Veronica stuff. I'm gonna move this for a second. These are all the Betty and Veronica Hot Wheels back there. I dressed these 2 Polly Pockets up as Betty and Veronica, and then he has these cars that I found him from the Happy Meals. And then these are the 1970s. I can't remember the toy company's name, but these are Betty and Veronica and Jughead and Archie. I used to actually be really into Archie, especially Betty and Veronica during the time. And then this we got at a convention, this poster. Signed by Dan Parent, I think. I don't know. He draws for the Archie comics, the recent ones. And then just some miscellaneous comics. He's really a big fan of Josie too. And then the last thing is his toy story shelf. Because I'm not going to get too detailed to his bathroom because there's a lot of personal pictures in here. Then Guardians. And then more Toy Story. And just random little stuff. But the other poster, I wanted to show you the Bomb Shell poster. And the Storm poster. And then he's a big fan of Britney Spears, and then X-Men. Alrighty, thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope that you guys enjoy my dad's room as much as I enjoy it. Thank you for watching.